I've traveled to 7 Asian countries in the past year, and I need to tell you something shocking that nobody wants to talk about. While everyone is busy posting beautiful pictures on Instagram and calling these places paradise, I saw problems that travel influencers refuse to show you. Overcrowding that makes you feel claustrophobic, pollution so bad you can taste it in the air, rising costs that are crushing local people, and chaos that exhausts you after just one day. I kept thinking, is this just how Asia is? But then I went to Japan, and everything clicked. Japan isn't just surviving, it's literally showing the entire world how a modern society should function. And after you hear my story, you'll understand why Japan is the answer that these other countries desperately need. Let me be completely honest with you about my first stop. I started my Asian journey in Thailand, the famous land of smiles and those postcard-perfect beaches you see everywhere online. Bangkok was incredible at first. The temples are absolutely stunning, the street food smells amazing, and the people are genuinely friendly. But after just 2 days, I started seeing the real problems that no one talks about. The traffic. It's not just bad, it's absolutely insane and soul-crushing. I'm talking about spending 3 full hours stuck in traffic just trying to go 10 kilometers across the city. You sit there sweating in the heat, breathing in exhaust fumes, watching the same buildings for hours. And the pollution was so intense that my throat hurt and my eyes were watering. I had to buy a face mask just to walk around comfortably. The beautiful ancient temples that should be peaceful places, they were completely surrounded by piles of trash and overcrowded with thousands of tourists all pushing each other to take selfies. The locals were trying their best to keep things clean, but the infrastructure is just completely overwhelmed. Bangkok is trying to be this modern megacity, but the roads, the public transport, the waste management, none of it can handle the explosive growth. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the culture and the food in Thailand, but watching such a beautiful country struggle with these basic infrastructure problems was genuinely heartbreaking. Before I continue with this crazy journey through Asia, I need to ask you for a quick favor. If you want to see more brutally honest travel stories like this, stories that show you the real experience, not the fake Instagram perfection that everyone else is selling, please hit that subscribe button right now and smash that like button. This is a brand new channel where I share the truth about traveling in Asia, the good and the bad. Your support means absolutely everything to me. Alright, now let me tell you about what happened in the other countries. My next stop was the Philippines, and I was so excited because everyone told me the beaches there are world-class. And you know what? They were absolutely right about that part. The beaches in Palawan and Boracay are legitimately some of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my entire life. Crystal clear water, white sand that feels like powder under your feet, and sunsets that look like they are painted. But here's what nobody warned me about. Actually getting to these beautiful places and moving around the country was an absolute nightmare. The roads were in terrible condition, full of deep potholes that could damage your car or motorcycle. Traffic was completely chaotic with basically no rules that anyone actually followed. Motorcycles, cars, jeepneys, and tricycles all fighting for space on roads that are way too narrow. Public transportation was so uncomfortable and unreliable that I never knew if I would actually reach my destination or how long it would take. Sometimes a trip that should take 1 hour would take 4 hours because of breakdowns or traffic. Manila, the capital city, was probably the most congested place I experienced. A simple 5-kilometer trip across the city could easily take 2 full hours during rush hour. You just sit there, stuck, unable to move, feeling your day disappear. The Filipino people were incredibly warm and welcoming, some of the friendliest people I've ever met, but the infrastructure is genuinely falling apart under the pressure of a growing population. You can see they are trying to build new roads and improve things, but it's not happening fast enough to keep up with how quickly the country is growing. Indonesia was my third stop, specifically the island of Bali that literally everyone calls paradise on social media. The rice terraces are gorgeous, the temples are mystical and beautiful, the culture is rich and fascinating. I understood immediately why millions of tourists flood into Bali every single year. But what they absolutely do not show you on Instagram, what gets carefully cropped out of every perfect photo, is the trash problem that is completely out of control. I'm talking about beautiful beaches that are covered with plastic bottles, bags, straws, and all kinds of garbage washing up on shore every single day. Rivers that should be clear and flowing are instead clogged with trash and waste. The air quality in Jakarta, Indonesia's capital city, is some of the most polluted air in the entire world. I could literally feel it in my lungs after just a few days. Local environmental groups are trying their absolute best to clean things up, and I even joined a beach cleanup while I was there. But the problem is just so massive. With over 270 million people spread across thousands of different islands, trying to manage waste and keep everything clean feels completely impossible. The government is making some efforts, but it's like trying to empty an ocean with a bucket. I felt this heavy guilt the entire time I was there. I was enjoying the incredible natural beauty and having amazing experiences, but I could see this environmental crisis happening all around me in real time. It made me wonder how much longer these beautiful places can survive if things don't change dramatically and soon. Then I traveled to Vietnam, and I was really looking forward to it because I'd heard amazing things about the food and the culture. Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi are absolutely vibrant cities, full of incredible energy, passion, and some of the best food I've eaten anywhere in the world. The pho, the banh mi, the spring rolls, absolutely delicious and so cheap. But oh my goodness, the traffic situation there is unlike anything I've ever experienced anywhere else on Earth. Crossing a simple street felt like I was literally risking my life every single time I tried to do it. There are millions of motorcycles everywhere, and I mean millions, filling every inch of every road, and it seems like there are basically no traffic rules that anyone actually follows or respects. Traffic lights are more like gentle suggestions that people ignore. Lane markers mean nothing. It's just controlled chaos everywhere you look. The noise pollution was absolutely constant and overwhelming. Engines revving, horns honking non-stop, people shouting. I literally couldn't sleep properly for the first 5 days I was there because the noise continued 24 hours a day, even at 3 a.m. I had to buy earplugs just to get a few hours of sleep. The cities are growing so incredibly fast, new buildings going up everywhere, new businesses opening constantly, more and more people moving from rural areas to the cities. But the infrastructure just cannot keep up with this explosive growth. The roads are overcrowded, the power grid has blackouts, and the drainage systems flood whenever it rains heavily. It's a country with so much potential and such hardworking people, but they are being held back by infrastructure that's 30 years behind where it needs to be. Malaysia was supposed to be different. Everyone told me it's more developed and modern compared to other Southeast Asian countries. Kuala Lumpur has those iconic Petronas Twin Towers that look absolutely stunning and futuristic in photos, and the city does look modern and impressive when you first arrive at the airport. But once you actually start exploring beyond the main tourist areas and the city center, you begin to see all the cracks in the foundation. Public transportation exists, but it's really limited in where it goes and how often it runs. So the reality is that everyone needs to own a car to get around efficiently. And when everyone has a car, you get terrible traffic congestion that wastes hours of everyone's day. The heat and humidity in Malaysia are absolutely intense. I'm talking about feeling like you're walking through a sauna every time you step outside. Combined with limited green spaces and parks in the urban areas, it made exploring the cities genuinely exhausting and uncomfortable. You're constantly sweating, constantly looking for air conditioning, constantly feeling drained of energy. The country is definitely developing rapidly. You see construction cranes everywhere building new condos and office towers, but it feels like they are just building without any real proper master plan for the future. There's no coherent vision for sustainable growth. They are not thinking about traffic flow, environmental impact, public spaces, or quality of life. It's just build more stuff without considering the consequences, and you can already see how that approach is creating problems that will only get worse over time. India was stop number 6, and it was probably the most overwhelming and intense experience of my entire journey. Delhi and Mumbai are absolutely massive cities, some of the biggest urban areas in the world, with incredible history that goes back thousands of years, stunning architecture, and culture that's so rich and deep it would take a lifetime to understand. The food alone is worth the trip. The spices, the flavors, the variety is just amazing. But I have to be honest with you, the overcrowding there is on a completely different level than anywhere else I've ever been. We're talking about crowds so dense that you can barely move through them. Traffic that doesn't actually move forward. It just exists in this permanent state of total chaos and gridlock. Cars, motorcycles, rickshaws, trucks, buses, bicycles, pedestrians, and even cows all competing for the same space on roads that are way too small. The air quality was so shockingly poor that my eyes were literally burning and watering after just a few hours outside. I had to keep going inside just to breathe properly. The pollution hangs in the air like a thick fog. Garbage was piled up on so many streets throughout the cities, and the smell in some areas was really difficult to handle. The visible poverty everywhere you look was absolutely heartbreaking. Families living on the streets, children begging for food, people struggling just to survive. It genuinely broke my heart to see it. India has absolutely enormous potential. It's one of the fastest growing economies in the world with over 1 billion talented, hardworking people. But with that massive population, the infrastructure is completely and utterly overwhelmed. The roads can't handle the traffic, the power grid can't provide reliable electricity, the water systems can't serve everyone, and the waste management is completely inadequate. The gap between rich and poor is massive and growing. I left India feeling inspired by the resilience of the people but deeply concerned about whether the country can solve these fundamental infrastructure challenges. Even South Korea, which I absolutely love with all my heart and talk about constantly on this channel, even South Korea has serious problems that we need to be honest about. Seoul is incredibly modern, efficient, and one of the most technologically advanced cities on planet Earth. The subway system is fantastic, everything is clean and organized, the internet is blazingly fast everywhere. But here's what's happening behind that shiny, perfect surface. Seoul is now one of the most expensive cities in all of Asia. Housing costs have absolutely exploded to the point where young people simply cannot afford to buy apartments or even rent decent places without going deep into debt. The average young person in Seoul is drowning in housing costs and student loans. The work culture is absolutely brutal and punishing. People regularly work 60, 70, even 80 hours per week. I would see office workers still at their desks at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., even midnight. People look exhausted, stressed, and burned out everywhere you go. The social pressure to succeed is so incredibly intense that mental health issues are rising dramatically. Depression, anxiety, and sadly even suicide rates are serious concerns. The education system puts enormous pressure on children and teenagers to perform perfectly on exams that determine their entire future. South Korea achieved incredible economic development in just a few decades, which is amazing, but the human cost of that rapid development and that constant push for perfection is really heavy. The society is clean, organized, and efficient on the outside, but so many people are struggling, stressed, and unhappy on the inside. Success came with a price that people are still paying every single day. And then, finally, I arrived in Japan. I visited Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, and several smaller cities, and I genuinely felt like I had entered a completely different world. Within just 24 hours of being in Japan, I finally understood what a truly well-functioning, mature society actually looks like when everything comes together properly. The famous Japanese trains don't just run on time sometimes, or usually on time. They run on time with such incredible precision that if a train is even 30 seconds late, the railway company issues a formal apology. I'm talking about trains that arrive at 9:43 and 20 seconds, exactly as scheduled. Every single day. That level of reliability and precision is mind-blowing. The streets everywhere are incredibly clean, spotless, really, and here's the crazy part. There are almost no public trash cans anywhere. In most countries, no trash cans would mean garbage everywhere. But in Japan, people simply carry their trash with them until they get home because littering is socially unacceptable. Everyone takes responsibility for their own waste. You can safely drink tap water directly from the faucet anywhere in the entire country without any worry about getting sick. Public toilets, even in train stations and parks, are cleaner than most hotel bathrooms in other countries I've visited. Many of them have heated seats, bidets, and music for privacy. Even public facilities show incredible attention to detail and respect for users. Everything in Japan just works. And I mean everything. Systems function smoothly, services are reliable, and things are maintained properly over time. But what really impressed me about Japan goes way deeper than just good infrastructure and reliable trains. It's fundamentally about how people treat each other, how they treat shared public spaces, and the culture of respect that permeates absolutely everything. In Japan, there's this deep, genuine respect for shared spaces and for other people's comfort and experience. Nobody plays loud music on their phones on trains. That would be considered incredibly rude and disrespectful to others. People actually line up properly and wait their turn patiently instead of pushing and shoving to get ahead. When you drop something or lose something, it gets returned to you. I personally witnessed this happen multiple times, and other travelers told me similar stories. A woman found my friend's phone on a bench and walked several blocks to return it to the police station's lost and found. The customer service across the entire country is absolutely incredible. Workers genuinely bow to you, thank you sincerely, and treat you with real respect, whether you're spending $5 or $500. Despite Tokyo being one of the most densely populated cities on Earth with over 37 million people in the greater metropolitan area, there's no chaos, no aggression, no sense of disorder. You can walk through the world's busiest train station during rush hour and people move smoothly around each other like a choreographed dance. It's living proof that having a massive population doesn't automatically have to mean disorder, pollution, chaos, and poor quality of life. What it takes is strong systems, good urban planning, and most importantly, a culture built on mutual respect, social responsibility, and thinking about the collective good instead of just individual convenience. Here's the big conclusion I came to after visiting all these countries back to back and really thinking deeply about what I experienced. The other 7 Asian nations I visited are genuinely beautiful places, absolutely full of potential and possibility, with wonderful people and cultures I loved experiencing and learning about. I'm so grateful I got to visit all of them. But the honest truth is that they are all currently struggling, some more than others, with really serious challenges. Rapid population growth that's happening too fast to manage. Weak or outdated infrastructure that wasn't built to handle current demands. Severe pollution problems that are affecting people's health and quality of life. Overcrowding in cities that makes daily life stressful and exhausting. Traffic congestion that wastes hours of people's lives every day. And the sad reality is that many of these problems are actually getting worse, not better, as these countries continue to grow and develop. Japan figured out solutions to all these problems decades ago, back in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. They made massive investments in infrastructure, trains, roads, water systems, waste management. They built systems that actually work reliably and efficiently. Most importantly, they created and maintained a strong culture of mutual respect, social responsibility, and collective thinking. They proved beyond any doubt that you can have massive, densely populated cities that are simultaneously clean, safe, efficient, comfortable, and actually enjoyable to live in. Japan isn't perfect. No country anywhere in the world is perfect, and Japan definitely has its own challenges like an aging population and economic stagnation. But when it comes to managing a complex modern society, creating livable urban environments, and maintaining high quality of life for citizens, Japan is absolutely showing Asia and the entire world exactly how it should be done. They are the answer, the model, the proof that it's possible. So that's my complete, honest take after spending months traveling through 7 different Asian countries and really paying attention to both the good and the bad. Each place taught me something valuable and different, but Japan showed me what's truly possible when a society gets the fundamentals right and maintains them consistently over time. Now I want to hear from you. Have you visited any of these countries I talked about? Do you agree or completely disagree with what I observed and experienced? What was your experience like? Drop your thoughts and stories in the comments section below because I genuinely read every single comment and I want to hear your perspective. And if you want more real, completely unfiltered travel stories where I tell you the truth instead of just showing you pretty pictures, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.